Good morning, dear students. Once again, I am here, Lalit Kumar P. Bhaiya, Associate Professor, BCET Durg. Dear students, till now we have seen the three videos before this one of analog electronics and instrumentation. In previous three videos, we have seen the introductory part of the syllabus and myself. Second part, we have gone through the basic electronics. And third part, we have gone from components to instrumentation. The overview, which I have already given face to face. And this fourth one is for the semiconductors part 1. This is one of the most important topic of your syllabus, that is semiconductors. Let us move ahead for this part, semiconductor. What we will cover in this part, that is in semiconductor theory. The topics to be covered are commonly used semiconductors, electronic configurations of the two important semiconductors, germanium and silicon, the energy band theory of crystals, and the electron volt unit of the energy. That we have to go through this part. Later on we will again go into the deep. Here, commonly used semiconductors. I have already told you what is the semiconductor. Semiconductor are those which has the property in between conductors and insulators. That the semiconductors are those which has the energy band gap is very less between these insulators and conductors. Conductors has no energy band gap, while insulators have the large energy band gap between conduction band and valence band. So, silicon and germanium are the two commonly used semiconductors. Then again in periodic table we have other semiconductors also. But the question is that why germanium and silicons are preferred? Let us see. You know very well, you have already studied the atomic structure, and through the atomic structure we can go for this electronic configuration of germanium and silicon. You can see here the atomic number of Si is 14 and silicon is 14 and germanium is 32. Thus, it has 4 valence electrons. Valence electrons means the electrons which are at the outermost orbit. So both germanium and silicon has 4 valence electrons at the outermost orbit. So that atom is called as the tetravalent. These both are of tetravalent. And silicon has the 14 atomic number. So 14 electrons are there. You can see here. 2 plus 2, 10, 10 plus 6. 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 6, 10, 10 plus 2 plus 2. That is 14. Which is divided on the shells. First shell, second shell S orbit, second shell P orbit, 2 and 6, and this is third shell. Similarly, germanium, 2 to 4 plus 6, 10 plus 2, 12 plus 6, 18, 18 plus 10, 22 plus 2, 28 plus 2, 30 plus 2, 32. So this is the distribution of electrons in the orbits. First cell, this is second cell, this is third cell, and this is fourth cell. So, in silicon, 1, 2, 3 orbits are there from the nucleus onwards, and here 1, 2, 3, 4 orbits are there. 4 shells are there. So this is the distribution of the electrons or you can say atomic structure of the silicon and germanium. Refer to the crystal structure of silicon. That will be in the next slide. You can see this. This is the crystal structure of silicon. You can see this is silicon, 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 all silicon atom. This is called as a silicon crystal. And these are the covalent bonded. This is covalent bond with the neighbor atom. And our 4 electrons are there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So all the 4 are covalent bonded here. So we will go to the previous slide. Each valence electron of germanium or silicon is shared by one of the 4 nearest neighbors that we have seen in the crystal. A covalent bond is represented by dashed lines. Each valence electron is thus tightly bounded to nucleus, and hence, in spite of availability of 4 valence electrons, the crystal has low conductivity. That we have seen. This is the crystal, and this is the covalent bond shown here. This is dashed covalent bond. All these are covalent bonded with the nearest structure. And this is the energy band theory of the crystal. You can see closely here. This is the energy band theory. These are the filled inner shells. This is the distance between the atoms, horizontal axis. And this is the energy, vertical axis. So this is the filled inner shells which are closely bounded and partially filled valence orbit and empty outer orbits. This is empty outer orbit, this is partially filled orbit, and this is closely filled orbit. Then the electron volt unit of energy. The unit of work energy called electron volt is defined as follows. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to power 19. The unit of work or energy called electron volt is defined as follows. 1 eV is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. The name electron volt arises from the fact that if an electron falls through a potential of 1 volt, its kinetic energy will increase by decrease in potential energy, or by this QV is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb into 1 volt. That is the charge on the electrons. 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 J is the electron volt. That is equal to 1 electron volt. So you can have the question, what is EV? So you can define 1 EV is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules, the unit of work or energy of electron volt. This is about the basic things of the semiconductors which I have taught now. And till now which we have gone, the expected questions are: number 1, why silicon and germanium are most widely used semiconductors that we have seen, orbit theory, temperature, etc. Explain why semiconductors behave like insulators at 0 degree Kelvin. Define an electron volt EV and explain the effect of temperature on conductivity of insulator, semiconductor and metal. So you can answer these questions from the previous 3, and this is 4th video till now. Later on what we will see. Now next topics with respect to semiconductors are to be covered: electrons and holes, that will be reviewed; contribution of hole in conductivity; intrinsic semiconductor, extrinsic semiconductor, that is pure and impure semiconductors, doping and dopants, impurities. What is the meaning of doping and what is the meaning of dopants? Donors, pentavalent impurities, acceptors, trivalent impurities, and then mass action law. That is to be learned again in these semiconductor parts. So you can see electrons and holes in pure semiconductors. Here you can observe crystal structure for germanium and crystal structure of germanium with broken covalent bond. These are the covalent bonds shown here. This pair of electrons are tightly bounded here. This is covalent bond and all these are the germanium atom. So this is covalent bond. These are the valence electrons. These are the valence electrons. And here one electron is loose and creates the hole. This is called as a free electron. One hole is created and the one electron is moved from this to the other. This is called as free electron. After supplying the energy, this electron will be loosed and will move to the other atom. And hole will be created here. So this is called as a hole. And this is the free electron. So crystal structure of germanium with broken covalent bond after breaking this covalent bond. So this movement of the electron when covalent bond breaks, this produces the current. And this is the property of the semiconductor also. Then contribution of hole to conductivity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here figure A and figure B is shown. After breaking the covalent bond, hole is created. 6 number and 7 number. These are the holes shown. So this will move. Any broken bond hole makes easier for a valence electrons to leave its covalent bond and fill this hole. This vacant hole can be further occupied by some other electron. This vacant hole will again occupied by this electron. Again this vacant hole will occupied by the other electron and this will move. Thus the holes moves in a direction opposite to that of electron. Like this. When the electrons will move like this and hole move will like this. So opposite direction are there. Holes are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. So their movement will be opposite direction. If holes are moving towards the right, the electrons will be moving towards left like this. And the current will be in opposite to the movement, it will be in the direction of the movement of the hole. So this is the production of the current in the semiconductors after supplying some energy. Now this is intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. So roughly we call it as a pure and impure semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductors are the pure semiconductors and which has the concentration in both P type and N type are same. N is equal to P is equal to Ni. This is the concentration of the pure semiconductor. Concentration of electrons, concentration of holes. Similarly, in extrinsic semiconductor, these concentrations are different due to doping. We will dope the either trivalent impurity or pentavalent impurity. And therefore, their concentration will change. If we add the pentavalent impurity, concentration of N-type material will increase. If we add the trivalent impurity, concentration of P-type material will increase and therefore they are not equal. N is not equal to P. Extrinsic semiconductor are further classified as N-type and P-type, which I have just told you, depending upon the doping. Right? Then, this is the theory of the doping. The doping is the process of adding impurity atoms to intrinsic silicon or germanium to improve the conductivity of the semiconductor. So what is doping? Doping means to add, to mix the impurity, adding the impurity, the process of adding this impurity atoms to the pure silicon or germanium, which will improve the conductivity of the semiconductor. As you add the agent, doping agent, the conductivity will increase. So at zero temperature, the semiconductor will act like an insulator. But after adding this impurity and certain process supply, this will increase the conductivity. Increase the conductivity of a semiconductor by adding a small amount of another material called a dopant. Increase the conductivity of a semiconductor by adding a small amount of another material called a dopant. Instead of heating it, by substituting a conductor atom with a special impurity atom, column 5th or column 3rd element, that is in periodic table, the pentavalent atoms are trivalent atoms. A conduction of electron or hole is created. Pentavalent atom, pentavalent impurity, as they have 5 valence electrons at their outermost orbit, they create a conduction electrons and are called donors or donor impurity. For example, antimony, phosphorus and arsenic are having the 5 valence electrons. In the 5th column of the table, periodic table. And trivalent impurities are those which has the 3 valence electrons. And after adding, they create a hole. And these items are called as the acceptors or acceptor impurities. For example, boron, gallium and indium are the acceptor impurities. Dear friends, later on again we will go through the donor impurities and other impurities. For today this is okay, you just go and study this term. Next time we will start from this donor impurities. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any difficulties, you can ask me at any time. Thank you very much.